Hello, family. My name is Chris. I am your home gamer dad, and are you ready to play a game? A game of life and death, where the choices that you make determine how and even if you make it to the next challenge. Get ready as we dive into the next Final Girl feature film for you guys as I play The Marrek Murders. Thank you to everybody out there who voted in my poll recently on the community tab. And also, if you happen to be a YouTube member or a Patreon subscriber, you're able to get in some extra votes in that way. The Marrek Murders took this pretty well. Like, they were in a much, much higher percentage than all the other ones. The Razorface and the Eyeless are very neck and neck, so I'll have to figure out what I want to do for those two next time. And then Slayer is all the way down at the bottom. So ideally, you guys were the one that chose that the Tormentor in Marrek Warehouse was what you wanted to see, and I gotta be honest with you, this was great. This is great. This is so much. I've done 2 practices for this so far, and it's fantastic feature film. I was not sure about it going into it, only because I'm not the biggest fan of the inspiration for this one. If you don't know, it's the Saw series. That is all the inspiration for this entire feature film. To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of the Saw series. I've seen the first 4, I believe, off the top of my head, but I've never actually watched any of the other ones. I hear the story gets really weird and convoluted and things like that, but just, I don't know, the movies themselves just don't do it for me. So that's why when we have our final girls right here, Mandy and Cassie, I'm not 100% sure what or who they are based on. Anyone out there who is a fan of the Saw series, I'd love to hear your input on this as well. Any of the Easter eggs that you see throughout the course of flipping through the cards, and obviously I know the reverse bear trap being one of the very first Saw movie traps that, you know, that one of those characters had to get out of is in this as well, along with a whole bunch of other different things that I recognize from a few of the movies that are made its way in. So that I get. It's the characters themselves that I'm not sure where they actually fit into the lore from Saw coming over to Marrek Warehouse. As always with my sessions, I will be explaining the specific mechanics for both the Marrek Warehouse and for the Tormentor once we get down to the table. The final girl I chose to play as here is Mandy instead of Cassie, and I'll explain why I chose her as well once we get down there as well. Just more details once we get down and into the nitty-gritty of things. If you're looking for anything in particular about how to play, whether it be the Tormentor or the Marrek Warehouse, check those timestamps, or you can just jump right to gameplay, turn 1, or however I mark it. Love the chapters, they're amazing, and get right into the nitty-gritty of us surviving the endless death traps that await us within this crazy, crazy setting. Steel our nerves and get ourselves ready to fight back against somebody who's not always there with us, but always watching. Ready? Let's go to the warehouse. Mandy versus the Tormentor in Marrek Warehouse. The challenges have been laid before us within Marrek Warehouse. Will we survive the terrible, terrifying traps from the Tormentor? Let's find out. Okay, so going into each one of these individually, as I always do with these, I will talk about the Marrek Warehouse, I will talk about the Tormentor, I will talk about our final girl, and do all the steps along the ways. This one isn't as complicated as it appears to be honest with you. Marrek is fairly simple, especially with the new cards it adds and everything, and I think it fits well thematically together. Now, it's just weird before I go into that, just having like these two feel like they really should always be together. The whole thing with Final Girls, you're able to like kind of mix and match killers with locations and everything. Marrek Warehouse, I can see working with a few different killers, but Tormentor at like Camp Happy Trails or aboard like Saw in Space against at the USG or US whatever Conrad, or even in the Arctic Outpost. That seems a little weird to me. It's like her needing to be here seems to be the way to go. Maybe Wingard Carly should be good, but let's go ahead and start talking about what makes Marrek Warehouse unique, the mechanics within it, and how to set it up. Before I start talking about anything else, we do have to talk about the forklift, which is the unique vehicle within Marrek Warehouse. Obviously, this is the mini that I got with my Ultimate Collection. There is a token that you would normally put there. Ideally, it would be in the middle right there, but I need space to put stuff, so we're just going to put the forklift over to the side for right now, should I find the items within the item deck in order to activate it. Now, the other thing that you're going to notice immediately for Marrek Warehouse that you have to set up first are these 3 locks. Right in the beginning of the game, and actually for quite a few turns afterwards, you can't rescue anybody. All 3 doors are locked, which is crazy because, you know, it's like you want to be able to save people as soon as possible, and you can't because of this mechanism. Now, again, this is what I was talking about with the Tormentor. Tormentor actually has something special within her that if we don't see it in this game, I'll talk about it later, that puts locks on exits. She may be in a map that is not Marrek Warehouse, so, I mean, she comes with locks in her own right, so it's the same thing, but it just thematically makes more sense here than it does in most other maps. But keep this in mind. In order to unlock these 3 tarot cards are actually going to be shuffled into your tarot deck. So you're going to make your tarot deck as normal, combining everything from the killer and your locations into one, deal out 10 cards, then you're going to take off the top 2 cards and then shuffle in these 3 to the remaining deck. Then you're going to take those 2 cards and put them back on top. And I'll do this for you all a little bit later. Basically what this is whenever you draw one, each one of these clicks unlocks one of the locks on the board, and then you draw the next tarot card for that one, you draw an event, and then the next tarot card, and then an event, and then the next tarot card. So these will add a lot more complications to the game through the events, which is amazing, and I love the events, they're so much fun. But then this is how you open up. So as you're playing the game, you don't know which one of the locks are going to pop open in what order. So you got to really be careful where you move around. Speaking of moving around, you may notice that there are these red spots here on the board. These are pretty much you're on top of like scaffolding or like you're in a warehouse. So these are like the huge shelving units and everything where they have all these stuff built up. Again, you got to think of this like more like a vertical sense here where these are higher off the ground compared to the normal spots. These also have their own special symbol next to them with this little ladder. The only way to get up to them is by using one of the 2 new cards that come within the Marrek Warehouse, which again, will have the Marrek Warehouse symbol on the back of them. You won't need these if you're just playing Tormentor. Like if you're with Tormentor in another spot, these are just for the Marrek Warehouse location. You get Leap, may only be played while in a space. You may move directly to another basically high-rise space. You lose a time, you lose 2 times, or you move 1 space fall and hurt yourself, which is really, really bad. But in order to get up there, you need to climb. Move on to an adjacent one of these spaces. You lose 1 time, lose 2 times because you got to climb up. If you fail completely, you take a damage and you return this to your hand in order to try it again. Leap and climb are unique because you can't get these into your hand by just spending time. Says on the bottom of both of them, you can put either one into your hand by discarding a walk, or if you discard a sprint, you can take both of them. There's only 1 of each of these cards, so keep that in mind as well. But if you discard a sprint, you can put both of these into your hand, which again would allow you to do all that stuff. So say I was like here, and I chose to use climb, I could then, if I successfully do it, climb up to the red spot right there. Now I am elevated off the ground. I could then leap over to another area, maybe getting to a place faster because this spot I can just climb down. And any walk can move you down because you're climbing down a ladder. Victims will follow you up. Victims will follow you leaping to the other side. If you fall, so like if you fail your leap and you fall here, the victim will also follow you into the next spot, but they climb down the ladder because they're smarter than you and they're not going to take unnecessary damage. There are event cards and everything that will push or cause victims to fall off of these high-rise places, thus killing them. But generally, if they're following you or if you fall and they come after you, they're a little bit more careful than you are and they won't die that way. So just keep that in mind as well. The other thing about the middle part of the Marrek Warehouse is the pit. Basically, if you ever have to panic addict here, you're rolling 2 dice because there's so many different ways to get out. And then you just add the 2 of them together. It starts at 2, goes up to 12, and that kind of determines what direction your guy's going, whether it be up one of the scaffolding, because they will panic on top, or into one of the other areas. And again, if they're on one of these and they panic, they will climb down. unless you have maybe a possible event that says otherwise. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up the terror deck right now just to show you how that's set up for Marrek Warehouse. So you're going to do, again, just take your shuffle of all your cards. I got really, really lucky in one of my previous games for this, where I got some really good combinations of cards that weren't super terrible, but, you know, famous last words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as per usual. We'll take these two, drop them in, and then we'll just kind of shift our clicks around throughout the deck, try to get them shuffled in there into a nice randomized spot, and then we'll take those two tarot cards and put aside and put them on top. And that's how you set up the tarot deck for Marrek Warehouse. Again, just combine your killer, your location, leave the 3 clicks to the side, make your 10 cards, discard 2, or not discard 2, put 2 to the side, shuffle the 3 in, put the 2 on top, good to go. The Tormentor, however, she is interesting, and I really like the way she plays. Straight up, she does not start on the board. When we do a setup, when we see that area that has the little K on it where the killer would go, she actually does not go to that spot. The Tormentor will stay off the board until you draw a finale card, in which case then you go to your setup cards that you did not use for this game. So after you do your setup, like after you put all of your, your meat bags on the field, that one setup card stays in play for the rest of the game. Your remaining ones get pushed to the side because you're going to need them a little bit later to not only figure out where she goes, but there's going to be certain cards that may draw that say something like, you know, how far away from you from the killer, or the killer goes here, or whatever. You would need to draw a setup card in order to figure out where the killer is at that point. In addition to that, where the killer would normally spawn, you set a death trap. Now, of course, this is the interesting thing that you guys will come here to see when it comes to the Tormentor. Each one of these piles represent a different group, the final girl or any of your other victims, and they come with various traps in them that you need to disarm in order to be able to proceed forward. If you fail to disarm a death trap, the character within that spot immediately dies. If you fail to disarm a death trap for the final girl, which is you, you immediately die. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You know, whatever your final health thing is, doesn't matter. You are dead. So, yeah, normally I don't do the setup until after I do the items, but in this situation, because I want to show the death trap, let's go ahead and do the setup card right now. Pushka, we have the Daily Huddle. Oh my goodness, everyone's in the middle. Okay, so we got 2 up here in the supply cage, and then 1, 1, 1, 1. And then normally you would use those other things to like represent how many meeples are within this spot, but I'm just gonna put all 6 in here. They're those shapes, the yellow moon or the white diamond or whatever it is that you guys see. You would basically put all those on the separate card or whatever in order to show how many. Maybe I can just spread them all out in here, whatever. We know that there's 6 victims here in the pit, in the super, super middle section right there. And then our final girl is gonna start right here. Might as well just put her there anyway. Now, this is where the killer would normally start. Because we have the Tormentor, instead of the killer, we put a new victim on the board right in that spot, and that victim is immediately within a death trap. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this over and see what our first death trap is. It's the guillotine. Oh my goodness, this blade will drop suddenly when the timer reaches 0. Use your head or lose it. Okay, so as you can see right here, it is a starting position. We are taking ourselves a meeple and we are dropping it in right there. We're also gonna find this token, which happens to look like a little guillotine right here, and we are gonna drop it in this spot. Whoop, I have it upside down. There we go. Now, in order to disarm this trap and to save the victim it's there, we gotta first get to that spot using our walk cards or sprint cards or whatever. Once we are there, we can then start figuring out how to disarm it. There are 2 to 3 different tasks that we need to accomplish in order to get rid of the guillotine. First is figure out the mechanism by losing 3 time. We just literally spend 3 time and we do it. Once we have finished it, we can put a little notch on like that. We then have to move down the list. You have to go from top to bottom. Lastly, we have to disarm the mechanism by doing 2 damage and 2 move 2 spaces. That you can do in either order because it's part of the same part right here. It's part of this particular task. However, you have to do it on your turn, and any one of these, like, like 2 damage and 2 move are only used for the guillotine. So if I did, like, say, Furious Strike. Say I did Furious Strike, I got a perfect 2-hit on it. I was able to do 2 damage, fantastic, awesome. I'm doing 2 damage to the guillotine, not any enemy. So if the Tormentor was on the space, that 2 damage I did here would not go to the Tormentor. Same thing for the move 2 spaces. Say I had a sprint card. I use it in order to sprint, and no matter what movement I have would go to this payment. I wouldn't actually move. You have to do it on your full turn as well, meaning that if I don't finish it by the time my turn is over, these values reset. So I got to be very, very careful and think about what I want to do each time. At the beginning of the killer's turn, if you notice, the Tormentor only has this little symbol up here that looks like a trap, basically a bear trap snapped in with a exclamation point in it. That means that the trap advances 1 space. Got a lot of pain right here. So then the victim would actually move up 1. We would actually increase the horror by 1. And then we would have 2 more turns in order to finish this. If the victim ever got all the way to here, they would immediately die. So they would go to the dead zone, the bloodlust would raise, all that crazy stuff. And then we would also have a fail result, discard 1 action card. If we manage to finish this, then the victim goes onto the board and this goes out of the game, which is fine by me. There's no actual, like, you gain time or you gain any other type of rewards for this. You're really just saving the victims and keeping this from moving up because you can see it gets really bad. The final girl kind of works the same way in that you would take your final girl figure and you would put them on the same spot on the card and you would move them down the line. It's just that you don't have to move to a certain spot in order to get out of it. You are there in the spot by yourself, so you have to figure out how to get out of the trap on your own. Again, if you get all the way to the end, you immediately die. You have to do everything. Well, not everything, but if you choose to do a task, so I could do this first task now and then wait till my next turn to do the next task. But if I choose to do a task, I have to finish it within the turn before moving on to the next one. So that's going to be the same thing with the final girl here. And again, it'll make more sense once you see me actually put it into action. The other thing that you could do is if you are in a spot with a trap and you have a victim with you that's not in the trap, they actually are going to try to help you disarm it. So if you need to make a horror roll in order to get a good result, you can add 1 dice to your attack if you have helpers. It doesn't matter how many. I could have 2, 3. It doesn't matter how many people are in the space with me. I'm only going to get to roll 1 more dice. But trust me, that helps out a lot when you need to figure out a way to crack these things open and save whoever's inside. Again, just as I mentioned before, the Tormentor is not on the field, so I might as well just put these down and set her up ready to go. She's not on the field, so we can't fight her. This is a waiting game until the Tormentor actually pops up. So we are going to be going through all the rounds on the game before she finally makes an appearance for us. She'll only appear once you draw the finale. Now, there might be some cards that trigger that early, that send the finale up. There's also cards within the deck that tell you to put them on the bottom of the deck. So if there are no traps on the board currently, and it tells you to, like, advance a trap, you'll see a symbol, and we'll probably see it within the Terror deck, to go on the bottom of the deck. In that case, then it just goes on the bottom, and that's that. If you ever find yourself in an infinite loop where they just keep going on the bottom, on the bottom, on the bottom, they're discarded from the game completely. That did happen to me. It might happen here depending on what happens. I only say that because once you disarm a trap, the only way new traps go into play is through the Dark Power or Terror cards. That's it. Now, I had a few traps on me when I played, but we'll see how this goes. I'm going to move these to the side. Let's go ahead and do our health. First one goes to the Tormentor, which is number 4. 1, 2, 3, and a 4 right here. We will roll this again. Another 4, which would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Me right here. Okay, so these are gone. Let's go ahead and set up the item deck. I did not include Mandy's signature weapon in this. It's a cool weapon. It really is. I like it, but to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of how it functions with her ultimate ability, and I like her ultimate ability a lot. So let me put these up here, and then we'll see what our starting items are. I'll talk about her unique weapon, you know, after the game and everything like that, but just know that it's not going to pop up here at all. So don't worry about that in terms of no spoilers. However, our first item happens to be, a plank. This is place the plank token, which is right here, by the way. I love the way that looks. So it's touching two different high up spaces. These spaces are now considered adjacent, and victims panicking from either space will allow move to the other. So that's awesome. So that means that they'll be able to move across the plank without falling, without dying, without becoming problematic. So the plank is a very interesting one in order to get victims away, but no one's up on them right now. Next, we have the hard hat. Place a random final health token on this hat. When you recover your final health token, you may also reveal this one and choose one to resolve. This item is considered in your backpack, is not considered in your backpack, but may be kept there. So you put something on the hard hat in order to, you put your final token on the hard hat. It just gives you like another chance to hopefully live. And the final one over here, it's hard to see these because of the camera angle, but this is, let me move down a little bit so you can see them a little bit better. Odds and ends. You may place a booby trap, it comes with 3 tokens, on your space, one per space during the action phase. If an enemy enters the space with a booby trap, discard the token and the enemy takes 2. Which again, we're not going to get any enemies until we get to the very, very end of the game. So if I know she's coming, I can probably, if I get those, I can hold on to them and then start planting some traps in preparation. Speaking of preparation, let's just put down the event right now, just so I don't have to deal with that as well. And then we will talk about Mandy, which is the final girl I chose to play with. It's been 0 days. Oh, here it is, right? Oh, goodness. It's been 0 days since. Did you hear what happened to George? Whenever a victim is in a high-rise space, panics to a normal space, it's killed. Yeah, see, there it is. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That stays in for the rest of the game. And anybody that panics from a red space to a white space, they slip, fall, and die. All right, so let's just go over Mandy really quickly. I've been seeing a lot of people playing as her, and I was really thinking about playing as Cassie. She has some really good victim, rescue abilities, but Mandy's ability is just too good for this, and I really like her. And she's also on the box itself, so give her her due. She needs 5 in order to flip this over to the ultimate. She has a heal, she has 1 time, lower to horror gauge, and 2 moving spaces. When we see her ultimate, because I do plan on that happening, you will see exactly why she is so awesome and why she makes certain cards that I've never used extremely viable. All right, finally, before we begin, let's flip over our signature action card, Intimidate. I didn't end up using this, but I feel thematically it works so well. You should be the one who's afraid. For a 1-star horror roll, I can flip the dark power card face down until the upkeep phase. So whatever it is would be ineffective for the entire round, which could be very, very helpful in this case. If I have a 2-star, I do the same thing, but the horror gauge goes down, which is great. So I may pick that up at one point. It depends on what the, the dark power is. Which I do just want to point out, her gauge is probably one of the smallest ones I've seen amongst all the killers. You're not going to have very many deaths in this. So it's going to be a lot like the last one I did with the hunter. Unless you really mess up the traps, enemies or victims aren't really going to die that much. And it takes 3 to get to that dark power. And she doesn't even get that powerful. It's height of 3 and a movement of 2. So I think we're going to be okay for a while. She also starts at a level 3 horror. Which is usually you see 4 or 5, so use those focuses in the beginning. Speaking of which, let's grab our 6 cards and get going, and I think I may do, yeah, let's see if I can double focus and a walk this turn, because if I can focus twice, that'll at least pull the gauge down to 1. I can roll 3 dice, and then I can do 2 walks in order to get up there, and hopefully maybe one of these focuses can give me a little bit extra time, if I'm lucky, in order to start helping the person in the guillotine. All right, here we go. First roll, it's a single star, so we do lose the time, but the horror gauge does go down by 1. All right, so that's at 2, and we're at 5. I need 3 in order to at least get that first thing done. So let's go ahead and walk one more time just to be safe. All right, here we go, and once again, 1 star, but at least it's something. I could do it. I absolutely could do it right now, and now I'm rolling 3 dice, so that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and walk on up to the person that's trapped in the in the head slicer. Feels so nice being in the green this early in the game. Ooh, that's not fun. God, I don't really want to toss anything, so I am going to lose 1 health. Ugh, 2 time. That stinks, and I'm going to move 1 space. Man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to walk 1 more time. I need to get to that space. Or do I wait? Or do I toss these 2 in order to gain? You know what? No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss a short rest in order to gain 1 time, and then I'm going to call it there. I know that this is going to move up 1 right as soon as I finish this phase or whatever. So I'll be back at 2 dice, but I'll be really closer. So I'm going to use that 3 in order to grab a distract, maybe wave my arms at the camera so this way the Tormentor can say, look at me, and then I can do some other things. All right, so all my cards go here. Killer phase, any traps, advance 1 on the track. So then you bump right there. Once again, if it ever reaches the scythe, they are immediately dead. They have lost their heads. But I should get to this space in the next turn and start working my way down from here. Wish I had something to do a little bit more move or attack, but I think we'll be okay. All right, let's not forget to do this as well. And I am back at 6. Now for the terror card. We know it's not click, but we'll see what we got. Help, I'm trapped. Oh no. Oh no! If you are trapped, discard and draw another one. Instead, you are trapped. Activate a final girl death trap. Okay, you're probably going to die because I don't think I'm going to make it in time. Our final girl death trap is... Oh, the electric cage. Jeez. Oh. Let's put our final girl on the start. Oh boy, let me find that token. How did you guys not see this? I walked into the space and it just went right on me. Ah. Oh, what's that? Oh, who did that? Ah. The good thing is that because I have victims in the space with me, they are going to help me. And man, I'm going to need all the help I can get. First, I would need to restore power, so I'd have to lose 2 time. Then I would need to damage the power source by doing 1 damage, and then destroy the power source by doing 2 damage. I could do the first 2 this turn. I can't do that one this turn. Doing damage requires me to have other items in my hand as well, and I don't have anything that has any type of searching ability at this point, so I just need their help. I only have a weak attack to do 1 damage, so I can do that, but oh man, we'll see. All right, first things first. Let's go ahead and distract. I only get 2 dice on this, but at the very least, I should be able to hopefully lower, well, no matter what, I'll lower the horror gauge, but at the very least, I should still have enough time, maybe? Oh no. Okay, come on, just give me a success. Any success will work. Again, that's fine. I would rather have been lowered by 2, but it's fine for this round. Plus this goes up 1, that goes down. Fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drop our time down to 5. So I have found the power source and I've spent 2 time in order to do this. So that's the first one done. Next, I'm gonna play a weak attack in order to do 1 damage at the very least in order to get that out of the way. What's awesome about this is I get to roll 4 dice because I get to roll 3 dice because I'm in the horror gauge and because I have a victim in the space with me to help me through the, at least 1 victim in the space to help me through the trap. They give me 1 dice. You only ever get 1 dice, but it's better than nothing. And, all right, well, I take a damage, but at least, boop, it goes down 1. Now remember, if the Tormentor was in that same space with me, that damage that I did went towards the electric cage, not towards the Tormentor, so I can't use it for anything else. However, I do lose a health, which is painful from that, and I don't lose any more time. I only have 1 more card in my hand. It is a walk. I'm going to hold on to that. I have 5 to spend. I am going to get hurt up here, unfortunately, but let's first figure this out. All of this comes back. I need to do the 2 damage in order to stop that guillotine, but I also need to do 2 damage to save myself. And so this is going to be problematic. 5 to spend, so I'm going to take 4 for Furious Strike and 1 close call so I can actually get out of this spot. Put the weak attack up there, put the distraction up there. Unfortunately, you are going to die for sure, only because I'll save myself from here using the 2, but by the time I get up to you, it's not going to matter. Killer phase, ouch. And horror, again, goes down by 1. Oh boy, okay, I'm down to 3 health. Whoosh, right there. And hopefully, whatever I draw is not going to be a click. Don't put anybody else in traps. Please don't put anybody else in the traps. All right, we have to help. If there are no victims on the board, all victims move 1 space towards the nearest death trap. If there are no death traps in play, oh, great. Actually, this shouldn't be so bad. You're in the middle. You're in the middle. So now we have 8. You'll go here. You'll go here. And you two just kind of bump out of there. So what I like about this right now is that once I get myself out of this trap, which I'm going to this turn, I'll be able to move myself up. And I think I may just start bringing victims with me in order to get to the main entrance. So this way I can start rescuing them from there. And then just come back and forth, maybe get a bunch of sprints and go back and forth that way. No one also died by going up onto the scaffolding or will die. So I'm just going to go ahead and focus first in order to try to get my 3 dice back. The Tormentor is so much fun because she is so much more puzzly compared to other killers that I faced. It's just, I don't know. I love her mechanic. I love the way she does things. I wish that was a 2 in order to gain some time, but that wouldn't even matter. No, we're fine. We're fine. All right, back down to 1, down to 5. Now I need to get out of here. I have to roll my Furious Strike. I need a double star or else my turn officially ends. Which again is fine because I don't think I'm going to save that guillotine guy, but I would like to not, as I throw it all the way over there, immediately end my turn. All right. Because the horror gauge is going to go down 1, I'm fine. I'm going to take this close call and this focus, and we're going to toss them. We'll turn that 1 into another star, and then we're going to go ahead and say, boom, boom. So I've done 2 damage to this. This will go down. And then I've also done the final thing here. So lastly, boom, what was that? That's destroy the power source by doing 2 damage to it. So boom, 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 the electric cage is done. This is finished and is out of the game. And I am back into the middle. Guys, that was tense. Holy jeez. Now we need to get out of here. To do that, I am just going to put down a walk in order to, I'm rolling 3 dice, so maybe I'll get those 2 spaces. I hope I do. All right, here we go. Using that encouragement from Mandy in order to get everybody back to the entrance. Yes, there we go. Fantastic, 2 spaces. All right, so I'm definitely moving 1 in order to take 2 victims with me right here. So they're in the same space with the guillotine. And then I'm actually going to go back 1 more to the pit because I want to take 2 more with me as well. Now, I know I need to go up and around, so I'll probably move up and around this way, kind of just wasting time moving them closer to the main entrance in hopes that that click card for the main entrance is higher up in the terror cards, which we should start hopefully seeing them soon anyway. All right, we're going to end our turn right here. The tower cage is again going to go down by 2. Take this back to my hand. I have 4 to spend because I had to use that 1 in order to walk. I'm actually going to say that I tossed this short rest in order to gain another time. So I have 5 to spend. I'm going to take a sprint and I'm going to take another distraction because I really want that horror gauge to go back down because that guillotine is now going to push me back at the 2. Because I'm at 0 and it's going to push it up 2. And again, because the Furious Strike is here now, there's no way that I'm going to be able to pick that up and get to the guillotine in time to save this guy. So unfortunately, I'm going to be pulling a lot of guys into this spot, and they're all going to watch the beheading happen. A live beheading. Very, very medieval of them, I would say. All right, 1, 2. With that, we're back up to 6 over here. We did the Tormentor thing. All right, come on. Main entrance. Give me a click. Yes! Oh, are you kidding me? That's amazing. Fantastic. Okay, now, again, I have put these into the deck, so they all say draw the next card. So the main entrance is now unlocked. We can now take this and away it goes, and now I can start rescuing people through here. You think maybe I have extra turns now because there's 13 cards? No, because now it says draw the next terror card, which happens to be, let's open some boxes. Oh, this is a fun one. You may roll a dice for each unused item card that you set aside during setup. For each, lose 1 time for each one you choose to roll. Okay, so basically the way this works is I have 4 items right here. I can lose 4 time right now to roll a dice for each one. Doing so means that I will get that card if I roll a 5 or 6, if I roll a star. What I think I'm going to do is we're going to attempt, let me just count up my time here. We're going to attempt 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. So by doing this, we can take 3 dice and we roll them. And if we get a 5 or a 6, we can open them. Now, ideally it would be, You roll 1 for each dice, but I'm just going to do this now to make it a little faster. I got 1. So out of all those 3, so now we're from 6 down to 3, I'm going to say that is the one that I chose right there. So I don't know what these 2 are. However, the item that I did find is a bowling ball. Oh, that's fun. It's a 2-handed item. Discard during the action phase while in a scaffolding place to deal 3 damage to an enemy in adjacent space. Oh, geez. Wow, I just throw it down on them, I guess. So we'll put that in the backpack for right now, and I'll hold on to that for a little bit later. I mean, other than losing time, we just got a random item, which helps me not search for things. I mean, I got to get to the manager's office for stuff, but hey, fine by me. Do a distraction, gain back that time that I lost, and also put us back at 3 dice. He says confidently before a roll. Ah, okay, well, at least we're back at 3 dice. Down and up back to 4. Meditate would be really good signature action card for this as well, by the way, if you have it. All right, I need to start rescuing. We're going to go ahead and do a straight up sprint right now because I can't rescue the guy in the guillotine, so it's going to stink, but let's go ahead and do it. Can't save them all, sadly. Can't save them all. Yeah, we are. Let's start saving some right now. So we get to move 3. I'm going to move 1, taking 2 with me. 2, taking 2 with me, which is great. Poor guillotine guy is still here. And then 3 to the main entrance, taking 2 with me. So that's 2 guys right here. Doors open. Get out, get out, get out, get out. All right, so I'm actually going to heal. And then I'm going to move myself 1 space over to hopefully rescue those other 2. All right, so we move ourselves over 1. I've healed again, so I am up to 3 right here, which is good. Normally, I like running the edge of having not much health, but you never know if you're going to get caught in a death trap. You don't know what exactly it's going to do to you, so it's better off this way. Let's go ahead and walk ourselves back to the entrance and save 2 more victims. I may lose that health I just gained, but you know, it's going to happen regardless of anything. All right, well, I got 1 at least. Time is at 3, but that's okay. Well, I'll move this over, and you 2 also. Find your friends, tell them what's happening, call the paper, call the police, call somebody. Just get out of here already, will you? I should grab that time, but I'm actually not going to. We're going to move 1 more space back over so I can prep myself, and I'm going to move the horror gauge down 1, just in case if more horror starts going up, I have it under control. Like, Mandy, you are steadfast, girl. That is awesome. All right, so we're gonna move here. The horror gauge is gonna go there, and we are at 3 time to spend. Do get back a bunch of things here. I think what I'm just gonna do is we're gonna sprint for 2 and a close call for 1, simply because I wanna be able to get myself where I need to get to. So distraction, sprint, boom, boom, boom. Once I get a few more victims out of here, I'm gonna start grabbing the search cards in order to get over to the manager's office, grab the trap, and then start prepping myself for when the Tormentor finally hits the field. Unfortunately, the Tormentor is watching from her secret room or whatever. And then 1, 2, 3. Oh, as the Red Queen would say, or the Queen of Hearts, off with their heads. The guillotine is out. We have lost a victim. This has moved up 1. The guillotine, the fail result is discard 1 action card. That I get to choose. So I can look here. And I'm going to discard my short rest because I don't need it. Now, because this went up 1, I have to discard 1 random action card. This could be really bad, actually. So let's shuffle this up. And then we get close call. Actually, that's really good. Out of everything, that's probably the best one right there. So we're going to leave that right there. And now with that done, let's go ahead and draw a tarot card. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Open up something else, maybe? That would be great. Aha! Loading dock B unlocks and an event card gets drawn. So that's good. And then we got to draw another tarot card. So this is open now. So that's 2 out of 3 unlocked. I could start bringing people down here, but I really don't need to. As far as our next event goes, if I can actually draw it, there we go. Panic all victims, which these 2 in conjunction would have been awful should anybody have been up top. But they're going to go up top, and then they very well may. Okay, where is everybody? I got 3 people in the middle here, and I got 1, 2, 1, and 2 right here. This has been triggered because you died. So let's start with the 2 right here with us, hoping for a 2. If I roll a 2, that'd be great. 2 3s. So 3 3, they actually go over here, which is fine because then I can still get over that way. I'm going to take these 2 over here. Let's just roll it on this side. 2 4s. All right. They're going to be in the center. Before I do that, I got to do these one at a time. So we'll take that guy up here for rolling 2. That's a 5. 5 is, you're up there. That's great. We'll do this guy right here because you got to roll 2 dice for the pit. 4. 4 is up here. Great. Great. They're running up now. They're probably going to die. And then a 9. Where's 9? 9 straight up. Oh, sweet. I like you. You're in a good spot. Then you 2, whoop, ran to the pit. And I got one more guy to panic. A 6, which runs to the pit as well. All right. Well, that was crazy. So we can take that out of the game now because that has been resolved. Draw the next terror card. Oh, okay. So we're clicking through all of them. They all open at the same time. Loading dock A opens up. Boop, 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 boop. That's good. But again, I don't have to worry about it because I'm not down there. Would have been great if I was focusing on it, but hey, fine by now. And another event card flipped over. Help on the racks. Oh, no. This is going to be bad. Oh, panic all victims in spaces adjacent to the racks, but only move them if they panic into the rack. Repeat this process until at least 2 victims have moved into a rack space or until there are no more victims in spaces adjacent to the racks. Oh, great. Okay, so these 2 do not panic. Man, that must have been, they saw that guillotine go off and everybody is losing their minds. Let's start actually with you right up here. We're going to start with that guy right there. I rolled a 4. Does that go anywhere? No, it does. Actually, no, I don't think. Oh, yes, it would. Okay, so you went up 1, so now you are up as well. If one more person goes up, I mean, everyone's going to panic, but if one more person goes up on the rack, then the card has been satisfied. 5 and a 4. Man, I wish you guys went up that way. 4 is down here. 5. You just not, oh, 5, 6. Okay, good. So you jumped up here as well. Great, they ran away from me. Now we got to do these guys in the middle, which again, you got to roll 2. So this might take a little bit. Hey, get back here. 6 goes here. You're on that rack with that guy. I don't like 0 days since because everyone's going to die. 11, you're up this side. And the last one is 9. 9, I think, is up on a rack too. Is it? Nope, it's up that way. Okay. Oh, geez. Panicking. All types of terrible. Drawing another terror card. Ha! Okay. If no victims are trapped, move this card to the bottom and then draw the next. Okay, so see, this is what I was talking about. So you have the little symbol that's right here that shows it on the bottom. It goes there. If there was people in death traps, the death trap would tick over 1 immediately. Otherwise, this goes to the bottom. Now, once I reach the bottom of this deck, that's an infinite loop because it'll always say go on the bottom. It then is out of the game and that's it. So ideally, we're 1 less turn already because of that. So she comes a lot faster. All victims adjacent to stacks panic. This gets ignored because there is no killer on the field. I can't believe how many panics we've been doing already, and I haven't even taken my turn. Well, I haven't gotten to the next turn yet. All right, so you're going to panic first. We'll just panic this guy. For a 1, you are heading nowhere. Oh, cool. 1 stays right there. Oh, fantastic. We'll start with you then. That is a 4. You'll go back to the pit. And you are a 4 as well. You, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You actually stay right where you are. Okay, fine. You're up here with them. Okay, so I got 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 1 there, and 1 there. Oh, come on, guys. I just need 1 of you. Okay, it is my turn once again. I am going to take this sprint, and I am going to discard it from my hand. By doing that, I'm able to grab a climb and a leap card. Climb gets me up on those stacks. The leap card makes me jump from one to another. I need to get some of these crazy employees down off of the rat. It's like they saw a rat or something. I mean, it's possible in the warehouse. There's rats all over the place in these things. So, you know, back up to 6. Here we go. I need to get them out. So I'm going to immediately use my climb action. I'm rolling 3 dice in order to move from here to an adjacent spot. And of course, that adjacent spot is a rack, and that would just move me on top of it. Do I want to lose 2 time? No, I'm fine with losing. That's fine. Because that's the only difference between 1 star and 2 stars. How fast you climb up the ladder. So I've climbed up here, that fast. Now I'm going to walk. They only die, the victims only die if they panic off of a space. Like they panic in a a stack space to a normal space. They are walking with me down, so I am able to bring them down safely and hopefully to the exit. Oh, I swear these people, they just do whatever they want. Come on, there's got to be a union or something, right? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Got my two stars, baby. Fantastic. 2 more victims. Out we go. Let's go with you two and over to the main entrance. Get out of here, my God! Why were you up there? It was so nice up there. It felt so nice and safe. Oh, it's safer out of the warehouse now. Well, at least I'll be able to pop this right here in order to be able to get Mandy up to 4 times once again. But now that we have done that, we can go ahead and take all 5 of these victims off. Hooray, hurrah. Flip her over to reveal her ultimate ability, adding 2 damage to attacks made without a weapon or item. That means that your weak attack card is now by default with her ultimate a 3-hit attack. Furious Strike goes up by 1. Critical blow goes up by, Furious Strike goes up by 2, critical blow goes up by 2. That is, you can't use it with reactions. And because I rescued another victim on top of that, I am now up to 5 times because of her additional victim saving. Fantastic. That's why I wanted to do it so badly. Before I finish here, I'm going to hold on to Leap for right now, but I am going to go ahead and take Focus and toss that in order to gain 6 times going into the purchasing phase. Because I'm going to go ahead and take 2 for Sprint, take this Walk, 4 and 6 on the search, get over to the manager's office and just start searching for some type of weapon in order to help me out. All right, so these can go here. I got a Sprint, got a Close Call, and my Climb card that I did. I would rather use the Leap for something else in order to gain it. I like discarding the Sprint to gain both of these into my hand because I have 2 different cards at that point. Just works better for me that way. Okay, here we go. You have done your thing. There are no death traps on the field. Let's go ahead and flip the next terror card. And this one happens to be... Oh, were they pushed? Oh, no. Well, here we go. Oh, God. All victims in the upper spaces panic. After the panic, if they are no longer in a space, they fall to their death and are killed. Is it possible for them to not leave the space? Let me just see. I'm going to look over here. So a 1 will actually keep them up there, and 1 will keep them up there. Oh, great. We may have 4 deaths on our hands right there because everyone's like, maybe that's one of the Tormentor traps. Maybe that she put these like earth shakers or whatever, and they're like, First one's, they die, falling off, splat. And then we got these 2 over here. 5. It doesn't matter. 4 deaths in 1 shot. Well, this took a turn. 1, and it was already up there. I'm sorry. 1, 2, Dark Power reveals. Overkill traps. When a victim is killed in a death trap, you and each victim in that space takes a damage. Hey, it's the guillotine again. We can't escape that for our life. It's fine. That's not going to really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Discard a random action card. God, I knew it. I knew that has been 0 days was going to screw me over. Well, at least I only have 2 victims in here. And my goal right now is to go ahead to the manager's office. Well, I would have searched for 2 things, but it looks like I'm only searching for 1. All right, so I am just right here. I'm going to just do a basic walk. I mean, I could save that guy in order to prevent any further increasing of the bloodlust meter, because if it goes up 1 more time, then the Tormentor is going to be doing 3 damage to me. You know what? Let's do that. Let's just see if we can do that. We can sprint and see if we can at least save one of these 2 guys right here. This may be the death of me, but, you know, get people out of here. That would be nice. It'd be fun. Or nothing. Weak attack and focus. Tossing those 2. Making it a 1-star. I can move up to 2 spaces. So I'll go 1 to where the guy is, and I'll move up for 1 as well. That takes away a time. And then we'll just go ahead and walk. Actually, you know what? Give me back that. Since I knock things over, I apologize. What I have, focus attack, and focus and weak attack. I'm going to keep the focus, and I'm going to toss the leap. I'm going to choose to toss that back so I can get that back in my hand later. Now I can walk. 2 spaces would be cool. 1 would be fine by me. I don't want to take any damage. Yes, spinning around. We got our 2. All right, so we'll just go whoosh 1. You can get out of here and have a good time. Get out, get out, get out, get out. That'll actually gain us a time back. So we don't have to take it down from the walk, so we're still at 5. And then we do have another movement, so I'll just move myself right there. And with 5, we'll call it. I don't really think I need to do too much more, but I'm going to take this, take those back. 1, 2, and take an improvise, because I want to be able to get the best items possible. And if I can roll this in a way where 3s and 4s are successes, that might be the best thing to do in order to start sifting through the manager's office. Because let's face it, managers are the ones that always have the best stuff in their offices, always like behind some type of secret safe or something like that, you know, maybe a hidden thing behind a picture or something like that, and I want to search it to the best of my ability. Okay, no death traps at all. We only have 1 victim left in here because 4 died from everyone falling off. Man, again, I'm going to say that these were booby-trapped. They shook and everyone just flew out. They couldn't hold on and they all just went splat. When you need to prove your point, you got to do it. It's style and apparently in numbers as well. Faulty construction. My goodness. If no one is trapped, move this to the bottom of the card and draw the next tarot card. Just kind of curious. Choose a death trap in play. Mark next escape task as complete without having to fill. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, wow. So the bloodlust gauge would go up, but you'd be able to actually possibly succeed in saving somebody without doing anything. But once again, because of the way this works, that goes to the bottom, and we've in a sense lost another turn. Tick, tick, speed up the clock. No victims are trapped. This goes to the bottom. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's play a game, shall we? If there are no victims on the board, haha, there's one. A victim that matches the first applicable condition is now trapped. So our guy is in the pit. The pit has all the stuff. Just out of curiosity, furthest from in that space, it doesn't matter. We only have 1 victim on the board. So he got very nosy and decided to look for something and found, ooh, temple drills. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. So this thing, bloop, is going to be taking fear, is going to be raising the horror gauge, and of course, taking my time. First, figure out the mechanism. Lastly, disarm the mechanism. Oh, man, I mean, her special ability will help because weak attack will be able to do that 2 damage on its own. Here's the dilemma. I need to get to that manager's office in order to start finding stuff in order to fight the Tormentor. Then again, Mandy's 2 best weapons are her fists, lefty and righty. And trust me, that's not her special weapon either. It should have been like armbands or something that wrap up that increase her weak attack by 1 or something like that. That would have been awesome. But it's more of what she's holding in her hand, which is really cool, but I'll explain that later. I also have the bowling ball, which I can throw at the Tormentor. You know what? No, let's go save this guy. Let's sprint on down there and see if we can get there. Well, we should. We are 2 spaces away from it. So a single success will work. And I'm still rolling 3 dice, so that's good. I'm not going to be able to save him this turn, but horror gauge going up by 1 isn't going to affect me really at all. Oh my goodness. That would have been great. That was also a blank, but that's fine. Okay, so we're right here in this big spot. 1, 2. We are in that spot now. I'm at 5 time. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, okay, so I'm at 5 time. I'm going to go ahead and spend the 4 time to figure out the mechanism. Bloop, like that, which is fine. And then I can't do anything else right now because I would need to do the 2 damage and move in the same turn. All I have is a walk in order to be able to do that, so I have to end my turn right now with 1 time to spend, but I'll get the weak attack back in my hand. All right, so these 2 go into my hand. That's 7 and 8. I have 1 to spend, so I am going to take the close call. Intimidate didn't really matter too much here because no one should die from the death trap because he should be fine. So killer phase would go. Boop, that moves over 1. So the horror gauge goes up to 1. I'm still fine. However, the sprint card went back over to the market, but that's not however. However is that there's only 4 cards left in the terror gauge. Or all these, put these on the bottom? Well, we got to flip the next one. Oh no, we get to do this again. Okay. If there are no victims on the board, well, technically there are no victims on the board. If I hadn't rescued all of those victims, somebody else would be in a trap right now, and I'd have to deal with 2 victims potentially, dying to all these awful means and everything. So I got that twice, which is fine and great, but that's it. Unfortunately, there are none, so I have to draw the next terror card, which I can't put that. Now it's an infinite loop. Now it's this flip, 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 flip. We have technically drawn everything from here. The finale now flips. See how fast that went? That actually went a lot faster, even though I had 13 cards in the deck. But because we were taking care of traps and getting rid of everyone and everything like that, we couldn't do what we had to do. And these cards go into an infinite loop. And once that happens, they are discarded. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this. We're going to look at it at the beginning of the next killer phase. So not right now. The next killer phase, we draw a setup card, and that's where she appears. Our finale, oh goodness, is no rest for the weary. So that triggers, she bolts to me and attacks me 3 separate times. You can no longer resolve rest cards. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, okay. I mean, regardless, she is going to basically kick the ever-living crud out of me unless I grab some guard and retaliates. I also need to save this guy by doing some stuff. So let's first and foremost do a weak attack, which again, because of Mandy's special ability, now does 3 attacks made without using an item or a weapon. I don't have anything in my hand, so this is actually, I'm sorry, I have 2, so this is actually a 3-hit attack, or a 3-hit attack, and I lose a health. So I got to get Furious Strikes, Critical Blows, and the Weak Attack back in my hand in order to be able to hit her as much as I can, the Tormentor, once she appears, before she wails on me. All right, so we got that. I'm going to take the Close Call and the Focus, and I'm going to toss both of them under here to make that a 2-star, so I don't lose a health. So I've done the 3 damage to it. Now I need to move 1 space. Let's go ahead and walk. All right. Here we go, and we get the walk. We lose a time, but we get a walk, and that's fine. That's all we needed. Doing so is exactly what we need here, disarming the mechanism with 2 damage and 1 goodbye to this Temple of Drills of Death. All right, and now we are back on here. The Tormentor, when she comes to the field, is just going to focus on me. So I think we're going to walk away right now and try to put some distance between us and the victim, because, again, she's going to focus on me. She's going to try to get to me as fast as possible. I don't think the Tormentor jumps. Oh, maybe they do. Hold on. I want to see something. Hold on. There's no mentioning of killers moving into and out of the stacks. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't. Just to like close the gaps faster, but I'm going to say that she does, just because I feel like that's more thematic and it's way more terrifying. I'm going to need to buy a bunch of guard cards in order to be able to survive the upcoming attack. All right, so that's only going to move me 1 space. I'm going to take the short rest and the focus, slide those under to make a double success in order to move 2. So I'm down to 5 time, right? Or no, I'm down to 6 time because the walk still takes a time from before. So I'm down to 4 time, I'm sorry. And then we're gonna go 1, 2 right over here. Just again, to get close to the manager's office, start grabbing some stuff. Hopefully there's something in there that can help me. Some type of defensive item at this point. Or just kind of pulling the Tormentor to me, keeping her away from, you might be the manager. Sure, we'll say that. There's a special event that talks about being a manager and everything, but just for the sake of it all, I think we're gonna go with that. I have 4 to spend. I'm just gonna take both guard cards to block both of those, because I can tank 1 of the attacks from her. I cannot do both. Furthermore, I can't heal at all because I can't rest at all because of no rest for the weary. So whatever damage I take, I should make sure these are all zeros. Whatever damage I take is going to be pretty much it. Okay, so let's shuffle this up. We are going to go ahead and pull a search card, and that is, we're just going to go right to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, blah! She's shifting chain. Shift chain. She's right there next to me. Oh, yeah. There you go. So we go right here. She comes out from the side. She moves up 1, and she attacks me 3 times for 2 points each. Okay. First guard card and second guard card. Even a 1-star will reduce that to 0, which is good. All right. Here's the first one. All right, I dodged that completely, so that's 2 I've avoided. And here comes the second one, and there it is, that's 5. So the third attack does still hit me, blah! But now we should be able to go ahead and fight back, at least for a little bit. Oh my God, no, we can't. No, we can't. I didn't have anything. Did I forget to purchase last round? No, I bought the guard cards in order to protect me, but that's it. I don't have, it's my turn. Oh no. I can do a retaliate in order to stop one going back at her, but yeah, she got me into a corner here, and all of my other stuff is up here because I'm gonna end my turn. I have, oh man, this is terrible. I gotta take the retaliate and take a sprint to get out of there, and then all of this. Oh no. Man, I didn't even get to drop my bowling ball on her. Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, there's one chance. There's one chance that I could survive this. And that would be if this is a 3-heart win right here, or a 3-heart token, because I would be able to take both of the hits coming at me. Regardless, it's Tormentor's turn. She is attacking me 3 times. Oh, man. Retaliate. Just fighting back. And if I hit her, I do 4 damage to her, so that'll be fun. 2-star hitter, I mean. Even a single star will do 3 damage because of Mandy's ability. Oh, no, I can't. Never mind. This doesn't work on reaction cards. Whatever. Any damage back is damage, fine. Still reduced by 2 to 1 damage. Hooray! We did 1 damage to the Tormentor. She is mad at us. All right, focusing down here. 1 damage. 2 damage. Flipping it over. Oh, no! She got me! Oh, man.
The choices you made were not enough to save yourself. Think about that and take these lessons to your next life.
You got to be very methodical when it comes to these death traps and just getting around the warehouse and getting away from the Tormentor. One small mistake could mean the end for you. And unfortunately, I believe that that's what happened to me in this situation. I wasn't keeping track of my cards correctly. Then again, she's doing 3 attacks on me, you know, every turn, and I didn't have much health to begin with. So that's kind of an issue in its own right as well. However, there you have it, everybody. My final girl session for Marrek Murders going up against the Tormentor. I love this one so much. I love the way that the trap mechanics work. I love the way that it's very simple and easy in order to kind of dive into it. It's not that complicated, especially compared to some of the other ones in Series 3. I really like the way that all this works out. I like the way that it flows and it makes sense. And just, I don't know, there wasn't much going on at first. If I didn't get the panic of dying, falling off the stacks, I would have been in a much better situation because I wouldn't have had 4 deaths immediately, and you would have been weaker. You probably would have only done 1 damage to me a hit, which was fine. I could deal with that. That would have been manageable, and then I could have retaliated more and more. But with that said, I do want to talk about a few cards going forward, just for this set, just so you're aware of them. First one, I want to talk about this one particular item that was fantastic, used in a Marrek Warehouse with the Tormentor. This is the Megaphone. Can you hear me now? Once per action phase, you may move any victim on the board 1 space, then all enemies target the final girl and move towards her. This is amazing with the Tormentor because she's not on the board for most of the game. My very first game that I played against this, I managed to grab this Megaphone really early, and I was able to move most victims to the various warehouse points, like the escape routes, like in addition to me moving them around. So I just call them, I move one, and then I'm able to go and move the rest of them and get them out of there. Because there's no actual enemies on the board, because the Tormentor doesn't come in until the finale, nothing else happened, and it was great. Oh my God, it was so good. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is this particular finale card for the Tormentor. I haven't gone up against it, but I've seen it in other videos. This is no escape. When the Tormentor ends her movement on an unlocked exit space, place a locked token on it. At the start of the killer's phase, if all spaces are locked, you lose the game. And as you can see up there, the trap triggers. She moves twice towards the closest unlocked exit space. I mentioned certain cards being more thematic within the Marrek Warehouse as opposed to other places. Like, you can't imagine putting a lock on kidnapping trails, or most of the locks within the space station are all going to be there. And I'll just use those two examples again. You know, there's plenty of other places where that works, but it's still a really cool finale because it's not like superpower fighting, gonna kill you, the final girl enemy. It's more strategic, more thought-provoking, as what I really like about the Tormentor and like that puzzly aspect. Finally, I do want to talk about Mandy's unique item and the reason why I actually did not choose to include it into this game. It's fun, it's good, but it's not one that I think that would have served me well for this particular one. I love the concept behind it, or at least in my brain. So 3, 2, 1 spoilers. Let's talk about her weapon. Otherwise, that jump to the end of this through the timestamp. I think I kept calling her Mandy. Mandy's chainsaw. Who's laughing now? You need to be in the same space as an enemy to hit them. It does 3 damage, one hand. The chainsaw may not be used to modify reaction cards. You may not use this weapon until you lose 2 health to cut off your hand and attach the chainsaw to your arm. Very, very much in the ways of, Ash from Evil Dead. You know, just, you don't have a hand. Well, now I have a chainsaw for a hand. So I like that concept, and like her mini has her running around with the weapon anyway. So it's like you kind of want to give that to her at some point, even though it's not the way it's written on the card. I'm trying to be very ambiguous if people just kind of jumped over it or whatever. So I don't know. It was a cool weapon. It's a great concept, a very fun idea. I may use her again if I like mix and match certain things depending on where I go. Anywho, with all of that said and done, guys, let me know what you think of the Marrek Murders down in the comment section below. How did your sessions go with this? Is this something that you were looking forward to in Series 3? Because I believe this was one of the most anticipated feature films from here because a lot of people are Saw fans. Again, I'm not a particular fan of the series. I don't dislike it completely. I've watched them and like I said, a few, and just kind of enjoy them for what they are and for what they bring to the horror genre. But it's not a series that I go back to really at all. I think I've seen like the first one 2 or 3 times and once all the other ones. So I appreciate all of your info on how it relates to this. And of course, just any other information you have for the game itself, because I love to hear about your stories. I love to hear your playthroughs. Just want to hear it all. Next up for Final Girl is either going to be Hellscape or Utopia. I'd like to personally do Utopia, but I'm going to let the voting kind of ride for a little bit. You can go in there and change your vote now if you want. Like it's all up to you and everything. I can see how it works. I'll wait for a few days after this goes live and see how that goes, and then I'll determine which one I will play for you next. It's going to be one of those two. Slayer, I'm not really looking forward to because of the mission aspect of that seems really wild and crazy, but you know, we'll get there eventually and it will be a great time. So in order not to miss any future Final Girl action or any other fun video I put out for you to enjoy, be sure you're subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. If you wish to support the channel even further, there's a bunch of ways to do that down in the description section below. But as always, your view, your like, sharing this video, commenting, just being a subscriber go a long way to helping the channel grow, is very appreciative from me. And of course, lets me know your particular wants and wish to see for the future for this game and any other videos I happen to do. Thank you all once again. Take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together. Always be aware of your surroundings because you never know when you're going to fall into a random death trap set for you by some crazy psychopath who thinks they know better than you about how to live your life. You don't, you're a murderer. That's just how it goes. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.